Thank you everyone for tuning in. Today we are going to go over this beautiful machine, the H2O HD Dual Blast. And we're going to go over what you get when you buy it. And we might actually do some cleaning for you, something brief, not major, because when it comes to cleaning with this machine, the sky is the limit. The reason is if you have allergies to chemicals and so forth, those days are gone as far as having to cover yourself, covering your mouth and your nose when you're using harsh chemicals and so forth. This does a way better job than any chemical will ever do, and you don't have to worry about your allergies. Another thing too is you're going to save perhaps hundreds a year in having to buy chemicals at the stores for you to use when you clean your home. So let's go on and show you what comes with the actual mop, the H2O HD Dual Blast. Of course, you have everything you see there, the stand, and of course, the cleaning part of it. We'll show you that that comes off and there's a nice little strap so you don't have to carry the weight around. But you'll get this nice little user's guide that'll go through everything and anything or any questions you have. I know we have the tendency sometimes of throwing stuff away, but do not throw this away. Any questions you may have, particularly the ones I had regarding the attachments, are in here. And just for good measure, you can see that by the time we bought this, there were 12 million sales already, which is really nice throughout the world. So we've had it for close to a year already, and we love this machine. So let's go now into the attachments and what you get when you buy it. Make sure you get the one that has the dual blast, because it'll have two ways to spread the steam, not only on the bottom but on top here. I think it's the Swiffer that does that too, that you press a button and it comes off the top. Well, this will do it too. So if you're like about to hit an area that's really dirty on the floor, you can activate the steamer on the top and it's going to spray right on the floor, and then you just go over it. So that's the nice thing about the dual blast model, which is the one we're going to go over here. Okay, so here we go. You will get this jet nozzle. You will get a nylon brush head. And as you can see, we've used it pretty good. This is good to get into those crevices. And you will also have a copper brush. So this is like wire material. It's really harsh. This is like for metals. You can use it around stainless steel sinks, your rims, around your tires and such. You will also see that there's an extension hose, this right here. And this extension hose, this is to get to areas where when you put this over your shoulder using the strap that's provided, you can reach areas. And you also have this extension. This comes off like so. Just press this here and it'll come up. And then what you can also do, if you want to do like if you have a glass shower enclosure, is put it here. And you will use this on your glass. It also has a squeegee up top. And the steam will come through these, what are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes right there. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There we go. And the steam will come through there. And there's a special cloth that you would use for this as well. And when you're carrying the whole part without the pole around, like doing your glass enclosures and such, you would just feed it through this little bungee here and put this around your shoulder, and then you can do your shower enclosures and whatnot using the strap. And when you're working, like I said, for shower enclosures or just glass in general, like if you want your windows to be cleaned really well, this is what you would use. And then this little strap here helps secure it. So when you put it right over here, you're gonna use the strap to tie around the center pole here, and this will work like this, and it'll allow you to do glass. This one here, you would use for hard floors like tile, like you see here, laminate floor, hardwood floors, you would use this. If you're working over carpeting, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. You want to use the attachment that comes with it. And then you're going to place this over it on the bottom. And what this little nice triangle part does over carpeting, it helps slide. So as you're going back and forth over carpeting, you are sliding quicker with this. This helps it slide. You also have this wand, which you can, which I showed at the beginning, that you attach to the hose. And with this wand, you can use it for hard to reach areas. And then right here, you can see that it's threaded, and you can put in any attachment that you want. So if you want to do your rims on your car and you have back issues or knee issues, or just bending down is an issue for you, then this is a good attachment because it helps you stretch out, and you can actually sit on a chair while you're doing your rims, and this just makes life so much easier. Or if you are just doing, let's say, a deep sink, like a commercial restaurant might have a deep sink, you would put this attachment in there. And as you can see, we've used it pretty well. And then this is a brush, but it's not as harsh as the copper one we just showed you. So now let's show you some of the cool things about the machine itself. So this here, where the cable kind of wraps in, might seem like a hassle trying to unwrap it because it goes all the way down here, and here it's also housed in there pretty good. But it's not. All you need to do is pull this, turn it, and you need to pull it again and turn it, and the cables just come out that easy. So very simple. I like that design. Now at the bottom, if you look closely here, you'll see where you can have the steam come out through the bottom or spray right through the top, just like we mentioned. And the way it sprays through the top is, you can see these sprayers right here. You have one here and you have one here. That's why this model, the dual blast, is because it has both options. Not only spraying from the bottom, as traditional steam mops do, but also from the top, which we think is a very, very cool feature. So speaking of spraying from the bottom, let's show you, you see these Velcro areas. This is exactly how the attachments, as far as the cloth attachments, connect to the unit. So let me show you here. Here's one of them. And you can see that it does have the Velcro attachment. And all you need to do is align them to the mop. I'm gonna try to do it the best I can with one hand. And it'll stay in there. You see that? It'll stay on there pretty good. Now this one has like a mesh, which helps a little bit more when it comes to something that's on the floor, like a hard stain you want to just scrub out really well. This is going to help a little bit with the scrubbing action. Now traditional cloths, like the one, because you do get a few of them, look just like that. Then of course you have a microfiber cloth, and the one we mentioned, like for smooth surfaces, like this one here. This is the microfiber. So, and remember we talked about this plastic piece that goes over it, just like so. This is really good to make it glide a little bit better over your carpet if you do have carpeting. And then it also has, the openings are still there. See, 1, 2, and 3. So you have 3 sprayers on the top. That's pretty cool. Let's take this out. We just talked about using it on the floor and on surfaces, but let's say you wanted to take this around and carry it around your shoulder as you do household chores, you know, around the glass, or something that might be waist high or higher, or let's say you want to do the rims on the car. So this button here, you press it and it just allows you to take this off. This, you can just leave it behind because you won't be needing it in that case. And then press this here. And what you want to do before you fill this is not use regular water. Do not use water from your sink. Go to the store and get yourself some distilled water. It's fairly cheap, usually costs like about $1, and make sure you get yourself some distilled water for that. As far as the settings and the buttons on the machine, it's plain and simple. It's very self-explanatory. You have a 1 here, you have a 2, and you have a 3. And that's going to be the intensity of the steam. Keep in mind that once you fill this up with distilled water, if you use, let's say, the most intense steam setting, which is 3, you're going to run out of steam quicker than if you use, let's say, for example, 1. So try to play accordingly to what you're cleaning. If it's something that's really, really like a tough stain, then you want to use your 3. Don't worry about running out. You just fill it up when you're done. And then if you're using something like for light cleaning and you're on top of your cleaning and you do it routinely, then just use the 1 and you should be fine. So on the bottom here, this is where you can connect your attachments. And as we mentioned before, let's say you want to use this attachment, it just slides right in there. So if you want to just use this like this, you can just put the attachment here and you can do your cleaning. If you want to remove this top part, it does come off, just like we mentioned, and you have that threaded area, and that's where you can either put your wire brush attachment or you can use your nylon brush attachment. So any one of these will work depending on what you're cleaning. So if you're using something that's really tough, use your wire one. If you're not, just use the nylon one. So you do have that flexibility in here as well. And when it comes to releasing them, all you need to do is press the button down here at the bottom, press it and pull it, and the attachment comes off. If you are using, let's say, like we mentioned before, you're going to be doing a shower enclosure. Just take this one, the one that has the long hose, and now you can use this for your showers. Or if you want to use just something that's hard to reach, just have to press this down. The top part comes off, just like so. And then you can also put your wand, which is this one here. And again, on the wand, this part is, you can remove it, use your nylon brush head, which is what I have in there now, or you can use the copper one, which is this one here. So it is very versatile. I love the machine because it's very flexible. It'll get stains out that maybe in years you've tried all kinds of chemicals and never worked, because the steam is very powerful. One note is just be very careful. My suggestion is use gloves, because this you get a little bit of steam on your skin. It's going to really burn and it's going to really hurt. And that's why they have this protective part here, because if I have the attachment, not this one, but if I have the attachment where you're cleaning your shower enclosure, your glass shower doors, for example, which I've done before, some of the steam, the water, will get caught up on the cloth and it'll come down, and this is like a trap. You see the way it's designed? It's like a trap, so the water doesn't hit your skin. But on top of that, I do recommend you use gloves just for your own safety. Now I'm going to do a quick demo, but you see those finger marks, and you might see some marks on the floor that way. And this is courtesy of my two beautiful nieces, and I can tell they like using crayons because these are all wax marks on this table that has both glass and wood, and you can see that. And we're not going to use any chemicals because, as you know, you want to be very careful when you're using chemicals around wood, because glass cleaner is great for glass, but what happens when it gets on wood? You know what can happen. You ruin the wood and the finish. So we're going to use the steam option, and we are going to use the least intensity. It should work really well on the glass, and then if there's a little bit on the wood itself, I can feel a little bit of wax here. This looks like it was from crayons. I don't know, but we'll see just how well it comes off when we're done. Okay, so you can see now what I'm doing is I'm blowing steam just over the area, and then I'm switching over to the bottom steam here. So I'm just going to switch this like this, and it's easy enough that you can do it with your feet, but I'm just going to go over the area wherever I can see those marks. That's why I'm using the light, that's the natural light that's coming in, and you'll see how in just a few swipes it comes out really clean. Again, the beauty of this is I'm not using any harsh chemicals. This is as good as it gets, folks. And this is just a small sample of what you can clean, because the sky's the limit with this. You can clean showers, your car. I mean, if you're in the detail business, this is something you might want to look into. So what I'm doing is I'm going over the areas where I can see some of the smudge on the floor. And my intensity right now is 3. So I'm using the third selection, which is the most steam coming out. And I'll tell you one thing, whatever stains you may have, whether it be on your floor, wherever it is, if this doesn't get it out, nothing will. Okay, so I'm going to shut it off. Power is off. And you can see how just right in front of your eyes, how it starts to evaporate. So if you have like a ceiling fan, it does help. I'd recommend to turn on your ceiling fan. But you can see as it starts to evaporate, because after all, it is steam, it's very hot. So it will start to evaporate slowly but surely. And by the time you're done, the stains will be gone and you will be a happy camper. I mean, look at that. The stains were around that area. And now after about a minute, we shut off the camera, but just a minute later, it's almost completely evaporated. I just see a little bit of a wet spot like right around here. You can probably still see it. But it does a great job. I didn't have to use any chemicals whatsoever. Just distilled water and some elbow grease, but not so much that you have to really press. Just bring it up and down on the floor wherever the stain is, or whether it be somewhere that would be vertical, wherever it is. Like I said, minimal effort. Don't need to wear a mask. Don't need to worry about buying expensive chemicals. Just plain old distilled water. Okay, now we've got our attachment, as you can see here, and we're going to use the handheld. And as long as you're doing somewhere that's down, you don't need to worry about wearing too much hand protection. But if you're doing your shower doors, you definitely want to protect your hands. So let's see as we go further here. And granted, we're doing both wood and glass at the same time. And you can see how the stains are coming out real well. You see that wax area right there where I'm going over? You see how it slowly starts to disappear. This is all just power of the steam. You can hear the glass squeak. That's a good sign. Take a look at that. Big difference from when we started, and I just did it in a few passes right here, and you can see the difference from here to the area I didn't do on the corner there, just so I can leave that stain there so you can see the difference. I mean, look at the reflection on that glass. And like I said, you just need to focus on the areas that might be a little bit too dirty, or that where you might see smudges and so forth, and just work at it. It's not really complicated. You don't need an expert. I think even Even the young ones in a household will enjoy doing this, watching the results themselves. So you might be able to encourage others in the household to help with cleaning, because this machine is really fun to use. So, okay, here's some bonus coverage for you. This is laminate floor, and there is some stains on here that has been tried and tried many times to remove, and it hasn't been removed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the steam on the top, and I'm going to over here select the more intense, and you see how that's spraying. So hopefully the sprayers will soften it a little bit. And once it's sprayed, I'm going to switch over to bottom, which I just did now. And we're going to try to remove these stains. Let's see what happens. What you want to do is you want to go slowly over it. And let's see. So I'm going to try to do that here. Right here. And boy, check it out. It's gone. I mean, this is laminate floor, and it's gone. Look at that, gone. A little bit more stains out here. I don't know if you can see them. I'll leave it there for just a little bit. They are gone, just like that. Amazing. Thank you very much for watching. I will post a link in the description where you can get it. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.